Pete Davis and I have been running this for the last year and a half or so. It's relatively new, and it's an extension, really, of the Gulf Coast Consortium for Chemical Genomics that started, as we've been talking earlier today, really almost about 13, 14 years ago. It was a series of grants, both private foundation and then several CPRIT grants, including the most recent CFSA that is for imaging. As probably some of you know that have wanted to get involved in imaging, it's very expensive. It can be tremendously expensive. And if you don't have the expertise, it's very difficult. I've been running an imaging corps at Baylor since I got here in the mid-90s, and the evolving use of imaging, and especially drug screening. I'm very pleased to hear some talks today where they're referring to high content imaging and screening. 10 years ago, that was hardly ever mentioned. Now it's in part, as Cliff had mentioned as well, of most drug screening. So the Center for Advanced Microscopy and Image Informatics, nicknamed CAMI, was established to create an opportunity, a resource of people, expertise, and equipment to get the kind of imaging done, either to set up imaging assays for screening, or at the end of a screen you have molecules and you want to go back and do biology. So we want to support meritorious cancer research that requires our resources. We've literally just finished the acquisition of about $3 million worth of equipment with some wonderful support from vendors. New informatics team, especially something that we've never really had, an imaging group to handle the quantitative imaging opportunities that are available. Numerous types of approaches with various equipment that I'll show you in the next slide. But essentially, it's single cell analysis in many, many formats with a tremendous amount of quantitation. The projects that we will bring in, we do for you. So you get charged for disposables, that's about it. So work with us in our group to develop assays and get the work done by our team. Our expertise is pretty extensive in just about everything. Some of the new things we're learning ourselves, but that brings the list. I want to, again, emphasize that this is relatively new. We've got equipment over at the IBT, the A&M Institute, where the major screening lab is, but the other half of the instruments are at the expanded integrated microscopy core that we have at Baylor. With the new Leica SP8, we have super resolution, we have white light laser, I think it might be the only one in town, where you literally can dial in your excitation, and then with the spectrophotometer, you dial in your emission. It's a phenomenal machine. We were very lucky to get it, both, especially with the biophysical approaches. Fluorescent correlation spectroscopy and lifetime imaging are now available. These are new to us, and we're learning. Fortunately for me, my group's had about a year-long head start on that with a couple of international collaborations to get that kind of expertise in the group. We have super resolution both at the 20 nanometer resolution level, around 40, 50 nanometer resolution with the STED, and then the SIM that we have around 100. So we have all forms of super resolution crossing all different resolutions. A lot of equipment that we inherited from the earlier cores, lots of high throughput microscopy, confocal, and with more of it still coming. And I want to emphasize again the group of imaging informaticians. We're still hiring. Anybody that's an informatician with imaging, come see me afterwards. We got a couple more positions still left. Lots and lots of software to support all of that. And the group here, please can get a hold of us. We're pretty easy to find. Myself, Pete, Fabio, Arvind, Leoncio, we're all around. So with that, I'll stop.